Welcome to GunjurBiz on Gunjur News Online. I'm your host, Abubacarr Jammeh. Thanks for joining us this beautiful Saturday. And today we're going to talk about doing business in abroad by Gambians and people that are connected to the Gambia. And we will continue to bring you people that are in these businesses, people that would inspire you on a daily basis and to discuss about things that will inspire, but also to trigger you to do things that will be beneficial to you and your family, and also host of other people that can benefit from the employment they're going to get from anyone who ventures into business. Entrepreneurship, obviously, is the key at this point when we cannot rely 100% on our governments to do everything for us, but also do things that will empower people. So today, our guest is a business owner, a native of Gunjur, the Gambia, who is doing great stuff for himself, his family, and the community at large in the United Kingdom, in the city of Bristol. And this is no other person than Kalifa Saho. Most of you guys know him back in the day in Gunjur when he used to play soccer. I don't remember the last time I saw him, probably 15, 20 years ago. My brother, welcome to GunjurBiz.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bubakar. And thanks for welcoming or inviting me to these important discussions. I'm grateful and honored to join you today. Thank you.
It's thrilling. I'm sure a bunch of my age mates or younger folks back home in the Gambia haven't seen your face quite a while in real life. Just us jumping in here to have a show that is centered on business, but most importantly, a show that is going to empower and inspire generations of young people and physically challenged people. Take us through a journey of your livelihood, your childhood days back home in Gunjur.
Well, thank you so much, Bubakar. It's been an interesting journey for me. First and foremost, um, during my childhood in Gunjur Kulkoch, as a physically challenged, because I don't like to use the term disabled. Um, I was privileged um, to come from a very noble family,
Mhm.
uh, as most of the Gunjurians may know me through my dad, Mamadou Saho, who passed away. He was a teacher, and during the course of his teaching career,
Mhm.
I'm blessed to be traveling with him wherever he's been posted in the Gambia. So I think that's why most people don't know me in Gunjur. Um, but during my childhood period in Kulkoj, as a physically challenged and an above the knee amputee, I remember I used to play football a lot because I
Yeah.
love football. And some of the people who may not be aware how I got my disability is from playing football as a child.
Mhm.
I broke my leg and I was not being treated on time,
Mhm.
meaning I was not being taken to the right people to be cured. Instead, it was done locally until my leg got infected with gangrenes and it was already too late. So as we went to the hospital, there was no other way for me to survive it but only to amputate it. A lot of people in the Gambia, as a disabled person or people with different disabilities, um, may take their disability as um, that once they are disabled, that's the end of their life.
Mhm.
So I always like to say no to that. So it doesn't stop me from doing things that I like most, which means football. I play football not with disabled people, but with able bodied people. I used to play goalkeeping.
I remember how you
Uh,
used to fly, just
and
throw away your crutches, and that was
yep,
fascinating.
and the most of all, the most interesting thing is there is no mango tree in Kulkot that I've never climbed. I remember when we go to Madina Salam to play against the village, and if they say who's the goalkeeper, and they said, "Oh, is that guy walking on one leg with the crutches?" Everybody thinks, "Okay, that's it. We're gonna hammer these people." But
Right,
surprisingly, I always surprise them. But
right.
what I want to say here is, my motto is disability doesn't mean inability,
Mhm.
and I just sometimes like to change the concept of our people with disability, different forms of disability. I remember playing that football. What they used to tell me is, "Oh, it's because of football you lose this one. Now you're gonna lose this other one." So instead of being encouraged, I was always being discouraged.
Mhm.
I remember sometimes I was not allowed in public gatherings due to the fact that people will be staring at me. So those kind of stereotyping, I don't even know when I went to the beach side in Gunjur until when I grew up. That's when I start sneaking away, and it's been a long road. It's been a long road, but
I
as I always advise people, never ever be discouraged to do things you want to do. Just keep going.
I mean, it's just your story is just amazing. Like all of us grew up to
Mm,
um, witness your story
mm,
unfolds. Some of it, like you just explained, we never knew how everything came about. But
mm,
most importantly, the younger generation that doesn't even probably some of them have never had the opportunity to meet you. some of them never watched you even play soccer. I remember, like I said, you literally fly always when you want to catch the ball. And
Yeah.
that was so prominent and it was fascinating to watch. And those are things that's cemented in our memories that we can never forget. So whenever we see you, we just remember how we used to marvel at you and how we think you kind of supernatural to do certain things, right? Because those are things even people who are considered able with two
Yeah.
legs or two arms are not able to do. And climbing the mango trees and all that. I just really
Uh,
know how many. Maybe I
but,
I, I didn't
but,
climb any more than 10 mango trees back home.
Abubacarr, I used to even ride a bicycle with one leg.
Exactly.
I
So.
remember the first day I ride a bicycle was when I was going to Gunjur Secondary School, and because I used the crutches, my stump where I've been amputated, I used to sit on my crutches,
Mhm,
and I had some skin rashes on it, and
mhm,
that day I couldn't use my crutches to go home.
mhm,
So the Marlboro link, we were one of the host families, and Owen was with me. I said, Owen, can you please leave your bike with me? He said, are you gonna ride this bike with one leg? I said, just leave it with me. So I took the bike. I was saying, right, how am I going to ride it? So I pushed the bike until it's on a high speed, and I'll
right.
just jump
Jump
on,
on
look
it.
behind me, just whether people are seeing me or not. And suddenly something just came to mind. You know what? Just climb on the bike and just do it, man. So I just sat on the saddle and then start. I put my one leg on the other end of the pedal,
Mhm,
just at the tip of the pedal. So I force it in, and then as it went, I start riding it like a two-legged person, and I was even surprised myself. But always you have this at the back of your mind. What are the people gonna say if they see this? So sometimes you feel embarrassed and ashamed, or sometimes you are shy to do things that able-bodied people do because of the negativity of the popular, people around you. What they're gonna be saying, because a lot of the people would never say anything that will encourage you, but instead they will tell you things that will discourage you. So it's up to you as an individual to use your brain to be able to see whether you are doing things for those people or you are doing it for yourself, for the betterment of yourself. And thank God,
mhm.
I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. You
Hey,
know.
followers, we talking to Kalifa Saho of Neephi Food Store, Bristol, United Kingdom. He's running an amazing business out there, inspiring business with his wife and the family. And we are talking to him about his childhood days back home, and we will progress as we talk to him. Our condolences to you, your family, for the demise of your dad, who's been an
Yeah.
amazing educator. That so many of the everyone knows him, even though he's gone for postings regularly. And as been the case before, he took you along, and that also enriched your exposure to the wider Gambia. But one thing you mentioned here, I think it's just always not about your ability of doing things, but your inner power. For me, that's what it reveals, what you're determined to do. Like for somebody who is working on one limb, would just erase himself from being anyone who is potentially can ride a bike. But your inner power pushes you to say that, you know what, I can even do better. I've seen you doing things that are amazing that a lot of people with full limbs cannot do.
Yeah.
We're excited. You're still in your store. It's all okay. It's all good. That's the
Yeah.
reason we're here. You can take care of that. So we're talking
Yeah.
to Kalifa Saho of Neephi Food Store in Bristol, United Kingdom, and we're talking about his childhood days, his professional life back home in the Gambia after graduating from high school. He worked for a school that we will later talk about. In addition to that, we will also talk about his early days after moving down to United Kingdom, and also we will talk about his business adventure that he embarked on with his family to a level where now it's an employment for him and his family. He runs it so efficiently. Khalifa is an inspiration for a lot of young people, especially back home in the Gambia. We want to put out his story out there for the younger generation
927.
who did not have the opportunity to
Backward
know
here. Sorry, I'm
Khalifa
on the
or to meet
online
him,
news conference.
to be able
Yeah.
to be inspired by things that he have done, just solely relying on his willpower to make things happen. And that's the reason why we have him today. And it's so refreshing to know that you can be anything as long as you put your mind on it. You can be a force that a lot of people can rely on. And we will be talking to Khalifa about all this, about his journey from the Gambia, settling in the UK, with all the things that he has been engaged in. So we're back with Khalifa. If Khalifa, are you with us?
Yeah, sorry, I was having customers, so I had to help somebody to sort something
That's
out. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's totally fine. So I was just
Mm.
giving a recap on that. So tell us, after your school, when you graduated from school, what have you done? Do you just said, okay, I graduated, I got nothing to do. I mean, I'm just gonna sit at home. What were things that you've done prior to your migration to the United Kingdom?
Yeah, but sorry, I got interrupted by some people here. Right. When I finished school back in 1994, around 95, because my dad was a teacher, so I tried because he loved me so much, and I love my dad. Um, he pushed me into teaching. So
Hmm.
I served as an when there was that massive employment of unqualified teachers in the Gambia.
Hmm.
So I was posted in Bansang
Right.
Primary School as an untrained teacher. So I was there for about a year. Well, but due to my circumstances, and sometimes I may need help at the disablement center in Banjul. Bansa is quite far in the up country, where to be honest, I've done most of my childhood around up country. So I decided to transfer to Sinchubalia Primary School, where I was teaching as an trained teacher for about nearly 2 to 3 years. Then I went to Gambia College and qualified as a teacher. Then went back to Sinchubalia Primary School for a couple of years. And I tried to be honest to myself, Bubakar, because what I realized in those days, I was working with crutches. And when I teach these children, to be honest, I was one of the best teachers in the school. I was recommended as one of the best teachers. And while teaching the children at the lower classes, um, after giving them all the lessons that I need to for them to recap, um, a lot of the time, some of them would get what I was saying. So during my trying to see what the causes of that was, yeah, so it was kind of like they were concentrating more on my physical appearance
Hmm.
rather than listening to what I was saying,
Right.
or what I was trying to transmit to them. Just give me 1 second, Bubakar.
No
Hold on, bro.
problem.
Sorry about
Yeah.
this.
No, that's fine. We're still talking to Khalifa of Neephi grocery store in the city of Bristol, United Kingdom. Khalifa is a native of Gunjur, the Gambia. He did his basic educations, the elementary, and has a father who was a career teacher who lived all his life serving people, instilling knowledge, discipline, dedication, and hard work into our young people from at a very early age. Khalifa was just narrating his stories, how he was so involved in sports. That was the reason why he got an accident that resulted to one of his limbs being removed, and he was putting us through his journey, his life back home in the Gambia. And after graduating from high school, senior secondary school, he joined a school to teach as an untrained or uncertified teacher at a basic secondary school back home in the Gambia, where he taught for a couple of years before he moved to a training college called the Gambia College. So Khalifa moved back to Sinjubalia Primary, where he pursued a teaching. So that's basically, Mr. Sao, we were at where you went when you
Yeah,
were explaining,
yeah.
your career as a teacher.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so then I decided to speak to my dad. I said, because my dad was the special needs education officer in the Gambia then. So I say, you know what, I just wanna go into special needs. So I was lucky to be posted at Govi School for the Blind,
Hmm.
and that's the school for visually impairment, formerly known as Campema. So
Hmm.
while I was at school for the blind, because whatever I do, I try to set up example.
Hmm.
During the course of my stay at school for the blind, I was very hardworking, and that earned me to become the acting head of the school. When I went there, I didn't have any formal training on how to read and write in Braille. I was wondering what the hell
Hmm.
brought me here. How am I going to do this? So, as I said, determination and hard work always pays off. So, I try to use the children to learn from them how they read and write in Braille. So, yeah, things started from there. I was able to read in Braille. I was able to write in Braille, and it makes you so proud when
So, what is
you
Braille,
can do
though?
that.
In case someone is watching who doesn't know, how do you
Braille.
simplify that?
Okay, Braille is the way the blind people learn. Is because like when a sighted child writes,
Hmm.
okay, the blind children or the blind people, they read and write in Braille. It's like dots.
Right.
Yeah, it's like dots. So they fill the dots to be able
Hmm.
to read
Read.
what is written. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you are sighted and you can do this, you feel like you are superhuman. Like we train these children, yeah, because like it's amazing when we train these children up to year 6, we send them to the secondary schools where
Hmm.
they compete with their sighted counterparts. So we go there as an itinerant teacher or teaching assistant. So we translate the braille writing into the
Hmm.
normal writing for those teachers to be able to mark their courseworks and so on. So while you are doing that,
Interesting.
they see you as a different person. How does you do it? Because it's completely different from sign language and so on. So yeah, while I was doing that, I came to the UK by the help of our sponsors, because when they came to the school, they said to me, "Oh, Khalifa, you are very hardworking, and what can we do for you to help you?" I said, "Well, there's only one thing. I work with crutches. There are certain things I want to do. I am limited to doing. So
Hmm.
if I have an artificial limb, I would love to continue working here." and
Mm-hmm.
they looked for sponsorship for me around 2005 when I came to the UK to get that. So when I came to UK, I got acquired that artificial leg, and when I went back, as I say, I become a different person, Bubakar,
So
and
this
my
was
life,
15 years ago.
yeah, my life totally changed. My life totally changed because then people only see me limping, but they debate whether it's just a limb
Right.
or is it disabled. So then there is no stigma on me that I got one leg. So that's when I realized a lot of things have changed in my life, you know,
So
because
few things, specifically, what would you say that helped to boost your morale? You being a super person, even before you got the artificial one, and us seeing you, we were overwhelmed, obviously. Seeing you with that, then you don't have to, you can utilize your other hand that you used to use with
mm,
crutches and all that, and so that means you have even additional superpower, if you like.
yeah, what always pushed me, Bubakar, is I always feel like when you are disabled, the way you are handled back, especially in the Gambia, we are termed as nothing. We can do nothing. And for me, I always want to prove people wrong. So it's like we are always underrated.
Hmm.
And during, because we are underrated, and as if you look at our society, everyone who is looked low upon is because nobody is expecting anything from them. I don't
Hmm.
know if you understand what I mean
Yeah,
by that.
yeah. So
So,
because we
but
don't expect them to be breadwinners, as we call it back home, of the
exactly,
family or to
yes,
live up to certain potentials.
yeah. So I said to myself, okay, this is how my life is gonna end. I never even had a girlfriend. I don't know what a girlfriend was. I remember when my cousins go to disco in Gunjur. You remember those days they used to have this, I don't know, Galan disco and DJI,
Right.
and so I don't know what they are talking about, honestly. So, but I realized, okay, if I work hard, how do I work hard? Is to try and work hard at school, get a good grade, get a good job. Hopefully, then people will see me at a high post. Okay, he's earning good income. Even if I don't get the love, just the word love,
Hmm.
I would get love because they expect something from me. So that
Right.
has motivated me a lot and it has pushed me extra, you know.
Hmm.
So because of that, I think that inspires me and pushes me more to work as hard as possible. You know, so um, yeah, that helps me. And hold on, sorry, boy,
Yeah.
Damaneka on TV. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
still
yeah,
talking to
yeah.
Kalifa
So yeah, I
Saho.
think that,
Yeah.
yeah. Hello, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, that
Go ahead.
helps me more. It pushes me to the next level to say, okay, if I do this, then I will have the life I want to have.
Hmm.
So and it works because when I was at Govi, we had this school van
Hmm.
which used to come and pick me up from home. You know, in Gambia, if you are the boss, you always sit at the back or in front. So, but when I'm sitting in front of the car, I feel like, okay, this is me, and
That feels
people
different,
see,
right?
yeah, yeah, people come, people see the van picking me up. I have my drive. Um, I call him at any time. He will come and pick me up anywhere I want to go. If I take permission from the board, they will, you know, lend me the car. So I see people pushing themselves for me. so my life completely changed. And I think what even made it change more is when I first came to the UK, I never want to stay here. So when I came to get my limb, I went back home, Bubakar. As we call the semester is here. It was completely different. It was
Right.
completely different. Yeah, it was completely different.
So, I mean, you lived the life just going through all this and how you challenge yourself to be better, how you used your inner power to be better,
I
and
come
also
from
to get to
Folio
where
to fish
you
pond
are today.
and
And
Timber.
we are talking to Kalifa Saho of Neephi Food Store in the city of Bristol, United Kingdom. We're discussing about how his life started as a physically challenged person who, went to do great things. Khalifa is now a proud business owner in the city of Bristol. As you can see on the videos, he is actually talking to us live from his store, his family store in Bristol. And Khalifa will continue to talk to us about his journey when he went to the UK first for being blessed to have a crutch that eliminated him using any form of crutches or to. So, is are you back with us? Yes. So, my next question was going to be, you lived in the Gambia, you've seen how everything unfolded in the Gambia, traveled to the UK with the help of sponsors, got your limb, artificial one, went back to the Gambia, and I am sure it probably would have been a cultural shock for you, as we call it here. It would be a cultural shock going to the UK, probably see how they treated people that are physically challenged in some parts of the world. Probably your situation wouldn't have even gotten to this level, if we had all these stuffs in place medically. But it got to that level, you lived with it, like you mentioned, the stigma attached to it, that sometimes, it just hinders a bunch of the things that you could have done, even way better than other people. But then, no, they don't even expect you to provide or to do those things. As such, you are limited. So if you're not a very strong person internally, you probably would have just accepted defeat and just sit without doing anything. That's why we end up seeing a bunch of folks on the streets begging because they felt that they had limitations when it comes to success. You leave that. Can you distinguish the difference and how you think people's mindset should change towards being socially, economically, and even in the educational system? You've lived in the two environments. What is the major difference that strikes you? We all lived in the Western countries, and we've seen how mostly physically challenged people are treated. Like there are buildings that must you cannot build a building without putting a ramp and access for a potential physically challenged person who needs to use that. Most of the countries have those things as laws. You cannot have a structure that doesn't have that. And you've seen how even the bus system has transformed to accommodate people who are in the wheelchairs and all that. So there's a level of acceptance and respect towards people who are physically challenged. So you living that life, what is the major difference or the takeaways you've taken from how you lived that in the Gambia and how you're living it in the United Kingdom, where you're having a beautiful family running a business?
Thank you so much, Bubakar. There's two major differences that I've seen. One, the rights of the disabled people in the Gambia is in the constitution as a written document, but it's not being practiced. It's like what
Right.
they say, white elephant, is it that phrase? So if you go to the Gambian constitution, there's disabled people's right, which has always been um,
Neglected, sort of,
neglected.
right?
It's not being used because even if you go to the Ministry of Education, for example, in those days, I don't know about now, where there is no access for disabled people. I will use one of my best friends. He used to be my deputy head at the school, and he's living here in the UK now in Manchester. Usman Jallo, who is also physically disabled, using wheelchairs. He has to run from the fourth floor using stairs to climb up to the second
Mm-hmm.
floor, leaving his wheelchair
Right.
downstairs. There is no ramps there. You go to the schools, there is no ramps there. They always forget people with disability, even within our society, from our
Mm-hmm.
homes, in our homes. And the educational system also, when it comes to people with disability, they don't give them the fair access to jobs, and even in the school system. Like, for example, when I went back to the Gambia, I think back in 2014, is it 2014, 2015? I
Mm-hmm.
went back to my former school, school for the blind. Oh, most of the students I taught there were all trained as teachers. What did they do? They sent them all back to the school for the blind. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the teachers are more than the students, where we train them to be competing with their sighted counterparts. But what did they do? Because they are blind, they thought they can only teach their fellow blind people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one.
Yeah.
Two, when you go into the society, well, let's talk about the Gambian society, their concept with disabled people. Like, as a parent, I told you this before, um, we tend to invest in our children in terms of education so that tomorrow they can benefit you. So, but in the Gambia, uh, I realize the disabled people, or a disabled child and a non-disabled child will always, a non-disabled child will have more access to
Mm-hmm.
education in a family
Right.
than the disabled child, because the parent will say, okay, if this child who is disabled, if he finishes his education, what is he going to do? What can they do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
they tend to focus all their energy and wealth on the non-disabled child. If my dad had done that, my family would not have been where they are today. And the next thing I want to say is, there is two words. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, there is two words that the Gambian population tend to not understand, is sympathy and empathy. We use
Right.
the word sympathy on disabled people. They sympathize us a lot. But to me, I said no to that. We should be giving empathy rather than sympathy. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we are given the privilege and the chance to show what we can do better than able-bodied. For me, as Khalifa, I don't see any limitations in my disability. That's why I made a great mistake at the beginning of my introduction. I should thank my wife. I thank my parents for supporting me, but my wife, Bubacar, my wife pushed me. I think any achievement I have today, with the help of God, is because of her. Because this beautiful lady, to be honest, sometimes when I just want to make jokes, I will tell her, I said, there are certain things I would like to do in the house, and I just want her to do it. I will tell her, no, you forget, I got one leg, I cannot do this. She will tell me, oh, go and say that to an outsider, not me. She never see my disability. All she sees in me is me.
Right.
I always campaign this. Do not see the disability of the person. See the person as the person. So the, the government of the Gambia should give a lot of chances to the disabled community. These are the differences between the West and back home.
Right.
When you are a disabled person, you think of what sort of jobs are there for me? What sort
Right.
of jobs are there for me? There's no encouragement by the government of the Gambia, and the people or the general public never try to give us the chance to be able to explore our talents and put them into good use. Even within our societies, for us to be able to contribute in the development of those societies, we are
Mm-hmm.
always not given the chance and the opportunity to do so. So I think that's the main difference between here and what I've seen going back home. You know?
So now going into business,
Yeah,
GunjurBiz is doing its part to encourage. And the reason why we brought up your story is to give
yeah.
a background
Okay,
on how you have started. Your life got transformed. Now you are a business owner in a community where you don't have too many business owners that are from the Gambia. If you come to America, you probably would have met a bunch of other business owners, especially grocery store owners, and you've seen a lot of Gambian populace working in the retail industry. Um, but at least 90% of Gambians that traveled abroad would, at one point, have the opportunity to work in a store or somewhere similar. And we build up that expertise, we build up that experience and stuff. What was the mindset like to try to do something that a lot of people wouldn't have the foresight, or they're not confident, or worse, they think it is not even possible for somebody, a child who comes from the Gambia with a big dream to make a difference in life, to venture into a business that is used as a source of income, but also to develop and with the spirit of getting it to a level that can employ many other people. And it can be a lifelong business for you and your family and anyone who is associated with you. How did your business idea came about? I remember me and you, 2015, we were talking
mm,
about some of the things that you wanted to do. You were
mm,
selling online, the teeth whitening stuff. This was
yeah.
way back in 2015.
I
And
remember. Yeah,
today, talking to you, from your established business, I think that's inspirational. How did it all
yeah.
came about?
Thank you once again, Bubakar. Yeah. When, as I said, when I moved on to when I came to UK, I think the first job I was doing was to train youths on antisocial behavior with a charity called um, Action Force Africa.
Hmm.
And then I moved over from West Bromwich in Birmingham to Bristol. Um, Thanks to my father-in-law, that's my wife's dad, who introduced me to retail, where I work as a till sales assistant for, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So my area manager saw me and my skills and what I can do. He said to me, Khalifa, they call me Carl.
Hmm.
I'm going to train you as a manager. I said, you must be kidding. I have no background in retail.
Hmm.
Um, so he said, no, you can do it. So I went for my MSP training, which normally the company will train you for about 3 to 4 months, but I did mine within 5 weeks.
Hmm.
And then straight away, I was promoted as a manager, and I was the area relief manager for the company for about 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was in retail doing that, I did some bits and pieces like selling online, like that new skill.
Mm-hmm.
But as I say, all credit goes to my wife. She was also doing some bits and pieces like doing this how do you call it a
The biz. Right.
weight loss challenge, selling stuff. And she was also ordering stuff from the Gambia, which her dad was also involved.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad even is the one who came with the name Neephi food,
Right.
because Neephi is Wolof, is not Mandinka, is Wolof, say
Right.
meaning here, Neephi,
Yeah.
say is here. So
Yeah.
while we are doing that, I left retail back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so and my wife was still doing this. We have the Gambian stuff at home, and people order from us, and we will deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes my father-in-law, Mam Sidinjai, would do the deliveries and so on. So and my last job was an installation coordinator for a window and door company.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife said, you know what, let's try and have our own shop because you have experience, you can run it.
In
And
retail.
yeah, in retail, yeah, so you will be able to do it. As I say, she always see me. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't see the disability in me.
Right.
And I say, all right, then I don't mind quitting my job. In fact, that's why I think we are being successful, because I hold it as my life, you know,
And you
and
take it
to
as
make up.
an employment for you, right? You don't
Yeah,
have the spirit of, okay, we own this. I can just sleep until 10, 9, 10, 11, 12 a.m. and just wake up. I'm the boss, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah,
just treat it as a business, not
yeah,
as Khalifa and the
yeah,
family. Like, so
yeah,
I think that's something that is important to point out.
yeah. And yeah, it's been in our heads long since to have our own shop. But as I say, sometimes everything has time. When the time comes or the right time comes. So she said to me, yeah, we can do it. So we start hunting down premises. And yeah, we got this place. She said, okay, we got a place. And I said, all right, that's fine. We paid the place. We didn't take any loan. We
Hmm.
just have a little bit of savings and said, okay, let's go for it. So we did it. I set up the shop. I did all the shelves myself. I
Hmm.
used to work till late, and then I'll close the shop because I'm very difficult to help, because when you are supporting me, I always see my disability, because it, because our people, as I said, they sympathize with us instead of empathizing with us.
Right,
If I'm lifting heavy things, also, oh no, leave it, I will do that, I'll do it. I said no. So rather than someone helping me, I want to do it myself.
right.
So yeah, then I set up the shop and then went to the Gambia with the kids on holiday while my wife was here doing it. Like I say, we always try to support each other because her dream is to work in the hospital, and
Hmm.
now that she got it, so I don't want her to stop, and
Hmm.
I don't want her to quit or leave that job. So we did it. We I take it as a full-time job, and she work in the hospital. If she's off, she comes to help me out. But sometimes I had to work 7 days a week from
Right.
10 a.m. till 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
Hmm.
I don't moan. I sometimes moan that I'm tired, but like I
Hmm.
say, it's always hard work. Once you work hard, no matter how long it takes, it will always pay off one day.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's super interesting. But I know every successful business also goes through a teething,
mm,
phase where you face some challenges here and there. During
mm,
this process, establishing this, if somebody who is listening and is also thinking of getting into a business in a foreign country,
mm.
what are some of the challenges probably you have faced or other people that you know faced that when they're establishing their business?
Okay, first of all, it depends on what sort of business you want to focus on. Like my our side of the story, we use it as a Gambian shop,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Thinking of hold on, Abubakar, hold on.
So Khalifa is trying to explain
Yeah.
the challenges that he faced, the niche that he's operating in, getting things from mainly from Gambia and from other African countries. That Bristol is a hub for a lot of Gambians. It has a very high Gambian concentration. So he is about to take us through some of the challenges he faced and his concept, his strategies that he implemented just to understand his target market that would help to promote his business because he is going to have things obviously that are needed by the community, and the communities would always spend a lot of money to import most of these stuffs from home because we mostly cook still. Even if you live in America, Europe, or anywhere in the part of the world, you try to cook at home. So getting your own ingredients back home from Gambia is always vital to our daily life. So Khalifa, was you were about to talk about your niche, how you created, having understanding of your surrounding, your market. You were about to talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. So first of all, do a market research
Mhm.
based on the kind of, if you are to go into retail like opening a shop, do your market research, know the products that you want to sell and the type of people that you want to focus your market on. At first we said the Gambia, but we also realized our shop is kind of like a convenience store, and
Right.
normally convenience stores are very expensive compared to these big supermarkets.
Hmm.
And our people, as I say, we are all what do you call it, economic migrants.
Right.
So if I have to come to a Neephi food store to buy something that will cost me at Tesco or Asda for 1p or 10p, I would rather go there than coming to Kalifa store. So, but
Right.
what we decide to do is, the area we are is mainly foreign, and
Hmm.
we don't base it only on the Gambian people to support us, because otherwise by now we would not have been where we are.
Correct.
Like a lot of businesses would complain saying, um, our people don't support us, that's why we didn't make it. No, I said no to that. The Gambian people support us a lot. The Senegalese people, all African people who are around us, whose products are being sold in our shop, um, they all kind of support us. But as I say, do your market research first. Know the type of product you want to sell. You will always face difficulties in everything
Right.
that you are doing, based on um, your belief. Like if I believe I'm doing this for the Gambians only, and I
Hmm.
don't see the Gambians, because they will not come to your shop when there is another shop next door who is cheaper than you, obviously.
Right.
So
Hmm.
to answer your question, what are some of the challenges we have? Right. Some of those challenges would be to get the products
Hmm.
from the Gambia. When it comes to cost, you get
Hmm.
them very cheap in the Gambia, but because you have to import them, that
Hmm.
importation will cost you money, plus
Hmm.
the VAT that has
Hmm.
to go onto that. So this makes it a bit more expensive for our
Hmm.
people, because they would compare, like for example, the Black Star attire that you buy in the Gambia very cheap, but I am selling it for like 69, 79p. So someone who comes from the Gambia on holiday coming here, seeing the price,
will complain, why is this price so expensive? Yeah, people keep telling you, yo, this is expensive, yo, this, but they don't know the cost that you bought it for, what you are paying, that you are renting a premises. So the challenges you have are always customer complain like the cost of your product. So, but that doesn't have to stop you or discourage you, because, like I say, Gambian people don't like to be blamed, and we
Mm-hmm.
are scared of failure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we don't invest into certain things, because I would say, okay, if I do this because the Gambian people will not support me, that means I will not be able to make it. I said no, I will do it, and I will make sure if I am to fail, it will finally sell my last chewing gum
Mm-hmm.
in the shop, but nothing will stop me from making it possible. I don't
That's
know
an
if that answer
that,
your
that
question.
absolutely, that's an amazing spirit right there. One thing you mentioned, 2 weeks ago, I went to an African store. So I drink attire a lot, like almost
Yeah.
every day, right? And when I was coming from the Gambia last year, I brought in a bunch of the Black Star attire, the green one, and we ran out of it because it was over a year. So the stock we had, so most of all my friends drink attire, and I remember we put like 15 bucks together each, and it was about 100 bucks. And we sent money to Gambia. Attire in the Gambia, the 10 pack one is 80 or $100, no more than that. But then to ship it, we bought 10 big boxes, the 10 units. And I was like, yo, $100 can send me all that. And we were so excited. We were super excited about it. But then my friend went to DHL to send it to us, and he was able to send only one pack, the long one that has 10 units in it, and then half, one and a half, and it cost um, 3,500 to ship that. So right now I have about 7.5 packs of attire lying down there because 35, that's like $70, right? $3,500 is about $70 to send that here. So I'm like, that's fortune. So I can understand and relate what you go through, the logistics nightmare to ship stuff from the Gambia, and the reason why it is super expensive here. But like you mentioned, it is the spirit of trying to look for ways to make it better and for people to provide things for people who really want it will go for it. Or even if they want, they can go for it. But at some point, they'll have the opportunity to access it. So that accessibility, you provide that. And fortunately, 2 weeks ago, I went to an African store here. There's a lady from Guinea Conakry who has a store, and understand that a lot of Gambians love the Black Star. So see, for somehow imported it. And guess what? I spent 15 US dollars for just one long park. That's like 750 to $800 compared to 80 or $100 that you would have bought it back home in the Gambia. But guess what? You cannot blame her for that because but it's just the UK is even closer. But if you live in America, then you're talking of forever getting it here and a fortune. So absolutely, I definitely agree with you. I can't agree more, and I understand but how hard it is logistically to bring this stuff. But the resolve and the spirit that you have, I think that for me, it's the biggest takeaway from our conversation. How people can look at you and know that you are a fighter, and also know that you don't give up on your dreams, and also know that there are always ways to diversify logistically and also mentally to be able to cope with situations, and for the fact that you are appreciative of the support from the community, the Gambian community or the African community. I think that's a healthy mindset. We all, it's so easy for us to say, hey, Gambians doesn't trust each other. I mean, doesn't support each other. Like, I mean, the younger generation got to change that, right? We to change that is to change the mindset and try to talk to folks and see how we can do things better. And changing that mindset will help a lot because if I feel Gambians are not supporting me in this, I will look inwards and try to do better. What is it that they like most? Why is it that they go to X and Z store without coming to my store? What is available there? What is the accessibility? Like you mentioned, most of us are economic immigrants, right? And every little cent counts. Every little penny counts. And because we can always think, oh, how much this can make for me in the Gambia. But I think things gonna get better with technology, logistically. Air transport would obviously at some point make things better, and hopefully things can be shipped cheaper so people can afford it and they're able to access it. But the good thing is the accessibility part. You taking care of it. The rest, I'm hoping that people will continue to support so that your business can grow bigger and bigger and employ more people so you don't have to work 7 days a week because once the business gets to a certain level that it is able to take care of employees, that Khalifa doesn't have to stay 7 weeks in the store. I think that's going to be something that obviously I'm sure you're working towards, and hopefully it can get to that level with your mindset. I know we've taken 1 hour from your time. You're operating from a store, but I'll give you a last shot to what final words that you have to tell the younger people, the business community back home here, the younger generation, people that are watching or that may come to watch this show later on the next days to come.
My advice to that would be set up a dream and never give it up. Make sure you have a plan
Right.
A and plan B. In case plan A fails, try to go for plan B. And whatever you are doing or whatever
Right.
you want to do, don't look at what people are going to say. Look at it like, if I do this, is it the right thing for me? Go
Right.
for it. Work hard towards it, because as I always say, hard work always pays off. No matter how long it takes, just be patient and work hard. If you don't succeed, do extra. Never ever try to be scared of failure. I will give you an example. If you are walking down the street and you hit a stone, you fall down. Are you going to lie down there until someone comes and pick you up, or are you going to look around you? Oh, there's nobody here. You try and wake up and walk again. Always try to get ready for failure, because if you never fail, you will never succeed, because you will not know what it means by failure. Then once you fail, then that's it. Your dream is shattered. So if you fail, it always gives you the spirit. But always try to work hard. Get what try not to, don't do what everybody is doing.
Right.
I remember back in the Gambia when there was this AAT courses. Everyone went to do AAT and the market got saturated.
Correct.
What happened? No, not everybody is gonna get that. If everybody is doing security or care work, why not some of us focus on doing taxi driving, have our own shop, do that? Then we will all succeed, because that's one of the main reasons why we even open this shop. Because I see most of these Asian shops, they employ their own people.
Right.
So we said, okay, let's do this. If Abubacarr comes and have a relative who comes on holiday, we can employ them for a couple of weeks during the course of that holiday. They can have a couple of quids before they go back to the Gambia, to support and help the community. But my advice to the young generation, have a mindset. Focus on whatever you want to do, and don't listen to what people are going to say, because people will always say what they want to say. Whether you are doing good or bad, they will always talk. Ignore all that. Once you know what you are doing is the right move for you, work hard towards it. You will succeed. There is always a light at the end of the other side of the tunnel.
Hey, brother Khalifa. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
inspirational. It's been amazing. Sure, a bunch of people are watching and they're gonna watch later and they're gonna be inspired. If we can inspire even one person whose life is gonna be
Yeah.
changed based on them watching this, we're glad that it's gonna happen. And obviously, everyone, is watching, who is watching understands your heart. And you mentioned something that is very critical. Let's employ each other. Like, if you, any country that you go to, like you talk about um, Asians or whatever, if you see an Asian who has a store, be rest assured they will look for a delivery driver who is from Asia. The person who is they're going to buy their wholesale materials is going to come from Asia. You go to the stores,
Obviously.
probably the prominent people are all going to be Asians. Like, it's not being segregating, but those are the realities. Let's establish a chain of connection where whatever I do, if I can be of any service to you, I give that to you, because that's when you're making everything revolve around us. That's how we're going to change the economical landscape of our people, of our community, so that the poverty level can strike down, so people can get wealthier, they can move to being in a middle class economy. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And everybody that is watching there, if you're a young person or thinking of getting into business, reach out to folks like Khalifa, reach out to other business owners, talk to them, get inspired, exchange ideas with them, because I understand that some of the things that results to the failure of a lot of new entrants into our businesses is because they lack the expertise, they also lack the experience, but most importantly, they are uninformed about the challenges and the suitability of a business to them. They don't realize that you have to have certain things. Not everyone can do a particular business right. Talk to people, build up form of mentorships with folks that have been in the business, that have been in the battlefield for so long. They will give you ideas and tips that's gonna help you to minimize the risk, but also have be able to shrink the level of failure or potential failures that you might encounter or challenges, so you can see them before they arrive and mitigate them. So on that note, I definitely thank you for joining us, and thank you so much, Mr. Sao, and have a blessed weekend. Our regards to the family. Tell them we're proud of you and we're proud of all of them and we're proud of what you're doing. You're being an inspiration to a bunch of folks and generations to come.
Thank you so much, Boubacar, and thank you for giving me the chance to join your platform. And I want to thank so much I want to thank my big boss, that's
Hmm.
Madam First Lady of Saho
Right.
Kunda, my wife,
Yep. Yep.
for allowing me, and she just came to take over from me so that I can have the opportunity to, she's my everything, and she's the one who made me who I am today. Thank God. And I'm
Hey,
so proud of
quickly,
her.
quickly. I just want to know what are I quickly want to know what are the products that you sell. Yes.
The product
I,
that we sell,
yeah,
you
couple of stuff we
okay?
just would want to know.
We sell a lot of Gambian stuffs here, like attire. We sell moringa tea, moringa powder. Even for the ladies, we are selling their jaljalis. They'll
Yeah.
call it.
So that's called
Uh,
bimbing.
Bin, yeah.
All right.
We got Charlie Simbo. You remember Charlie Simbo from the big side?
Yes. Yes.
I wish I could put the. I don't know whether I can put the camera on the other side, isn't it?
You wouldn't be able to. Probably you will have to use it that way, though.
Yeah, yeah. But we also got
That's a big plate.
the best palm oil in town, which is directly from the Gambia,
Right.
and it is flying. We got
Hmm.
catfish, which is known as
Wow.
kunkelengo. Bubaka, we got anything that you miss from the Gambia. We got even tame. They
Oh,
don't last
Tame?
long.
Are you kidding me?
Tame, yeah.
Oh,
I had
boss.
some of these mortar and pestle. They don't last long though. Those ones they sell so quick. We have Caleros, all from made in the Gambia.
Man, I
We
bought a
try to,
Calero for like 5,000, $7,000
yeah,
not long ago.
yeah, that's a lot. We got these Chumwars and Sunkalangos, you know, a lot of Gambian products that, we are, anything that we are able to bring from the Gambia, we have it here. We had this Armanti miners, which is a hot seller
Wow.
also, but, as
And pig
during this
milk
lockdown, not most of the things cannot come at the moment, but we do have
and pig,
everything
right?
from the
I,
Gambia.
I think I spotted pig.
Pig milk, yeah. We even
So
have
maybe
the
kids can come
the
and
tin
maybe
milk.
kids like Boy Davo can come and buy some pig and they can go for pig, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we used to play football, pick. If you lose, we don't
Oh
normally allow
man.
our pick to be taken by the
Nope.
opponent.
That's always
We
a
got
battle.
you remember Pitarango,
Yeah.
we
Pizarro,
have
yeah.
Pitarango, that's Pitarango,
So make it wa me nalba
nearly
kara
all the
kanun ja
Gambian,
bakele yala.
yeah, Gambian will be Pitarango Sankam Bakele,
So
that's my
Pitarangolu,
boss there.
Calero. Hey, all
Yeah.
right.
How are
We
you?
are
You
all so
okay?
proud of all you. Yes, we are doing great.
I can't hear.
All right. Thanks for allowing him to talk to us.
That's okay. Thank you very much for inviting me on your.
Absolutely. All right. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you
we
so
were,
much, Boubacar. I'm
hey,
so happy. Thank you very much for the
hey, no
support.
problem. So, no problem,
Yeah.
man. Anytime you want to come on this show, just let us
Yeah.
know. We would continue to use you as an inspiration to a lot of people and what you have achieved, and hopefully, bigger stuff's coming. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Goodbye.
I took one of the plates today.
All
No, no,
right.
here.
Gunjur online viewers, we were thrilled to talk to Kalifa Saho, a business owner and inspiration to a lot of people out there, including myself. And as somebody who sent a comment was mentioning that he was just an inspiration to the physically challenged people, but all of us as people who have the zeal to succeed, the people who we believe that we can do things together. And this show is all about inspiring people. It's all about how people can change their lives. Doing business that is going to um, multiply and going to advance to a level where it can be professionalized and get it to certain level. And he is in a business that is so challenging, but yet his spirit is being really high because for the fact that I said it's challenging is, having to ship stuffs from Africa to the UK to make it accessible to the people that are there that rely on those things on a daily basis for their consumption. We all know how cheap it is back home, but hey, you're living in another country that is where it is not readily available and it's not been manufactured there. So it always costs a little bit more dollars and cents and pounds to get those things. So go and support your own. Put your mouth where you put your money where your mouth is. Let's support each other. Let's give business to each other. Let us partner. Let us always look for the positive things in our people. Let's focus on the key things that puts us together, that brings us together, that makes us more successful than things that divide us, that get us disconnected, disjointed. But I believe strongly if we come together and establish businesses, we can be successful. Being a family, friends, and stuff like that. Let's partner and come together on a common ground and a common good and focused on something that is more beneficial to all of us. We can have differences, obviously, as human beings, but we have things that we have in common. If I want a better education for my kid, do you want a better education for your kid. If I want to eat a healthy food or to live a decent life in a comfortable house, so do you. So all these businesses will trickle down. Let's nurture businesses. Let us do businesses that will not just stop at us. Let us not do businesses that are 100% central on us. We establish it as a business and we feel as an employee into that business, not as the owner. You're probably a business owner, but treat it as an employee, as an employer to you. And once you do that, your mindset will change. You're able to formulate rules and regulations and processes, procedures that will help in the sustainability of the business. If we die, our kids take over or our partners take over. If we are not here, some people can step in and do it. We can have time to enjoy life, go on vacation. The business wouldn't stop, right? Somebody got to step in. We can have time to do business, but also have time for our daily lives. That is crucial. Don't treat business as if you're not there, it wouldn't function. Involve people, encourage people to be part of it, train them, put them into processes that they will understand and will inculcate in them. That even if you are there, the service, the quality, the process is all the same. This is what we have for you today on GunjurBiz every Saturday on Gunjur Online. And as we go, on this path to explore more businesses and more people to talk to you about their business adventures and their businesses, processes, what they do to make it successful, and things that they fail in. So we can use it as a springboard or as a yardstick to be able to do things differently and better next time we do it. I'm your host, Abubacarr Jammeh on GunjurBiz. And please join us next Saturday, same time, same place. You all have a wonderful weekend, and don't forget to subscribe on to our YouTube channel, Gunjur News Online, or follow us on both our Instagram, Facebook, on Gunjur Online, and even on LinkedIn. You will find us there. Thank you very much for joining us. You all have a great rest of your weekend. Bye bye.
Gambian call albi alnimbara mbal be konton na altol na konton la ntelen albadi ma Yaya Sonko, also the founder of Sonko Dynasty. Ñin dimanche mun kanana nte anin jali dinding wala Andreasti mbe tarra papa jela programme motore akamenki Gunjur online radio to mbe tari ko kacala je mbe jali yala ko fanan kacala je le anyama fan jali ya bota nyaadi le anata nyaadi le jalol lo lamuneti molla society kono ndo be kacala je le mba kacala mandiga kanwala de bari mandiga kammoy lalu anin melka kan fono mbal buña la programme ñi to jeni ala kiti tal kon dimanche be ben je